Hey, Chica.
How's it going there, Meme?
It's going. Where are you? Welcome to MT. Love that.
I know, it's not cute. It's
Yeah.
in my conference room.
Oh, I love that in your conference room.
Not cute. I got the MTs from Michael, and then I saw that welcome sign, and I just loved the welcome to, like, you know, just as something. You know, this used to be a super boring, gross room, and now I just try to make it a little bit more homey and lovely. Like, look at some of my little posters: choose happy, work hard, and be kind. Just keeping it a little fresh. Yeah, I'm still here. I had the IEPs, and then I had a parent coffee this afternoon, and then there was no time to get home before this. So
yeah, no, I rushed
home. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, what grade are you going into now?
I'm going into 8th grade.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
That is so awesome. Are you a Windermere or Gale?
Gail.
Are you Gale? Excellent. So you get to have Mrs. Torres next year for your principal.
Yep.
I absolutely love Mrs. Goldman, but I love Mrs. Torres. So you're going to be in great hands.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you everyone for joining. If you are a participant, please go ahead and turn off your camera. Everybody else, welcome. We're gonna go ahead and get started at around 5:10, just to let some more people hop onto the live stream. Again, this meeting is being live streamed to all of our participants on a YouTube link. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started in about 10 minutes.
If I put the YouTube link on my school website, I did that last time for the opening ceremonies. Do you remember where you get the YouTube? Or is it just right here where it says live on YouTube? Copy streaming link. Never mind, figured it out.
He sent in the email to us too.
It was in there. Okay, perfect.
This is just a friendly reminder, but only officers, directors, and judges and special guests and coaches should be on this meeting, and no participants or students should be on this meeting, or parents if they're not coaches. They should be watching the YouTube live. So if you are not one of those, please join the YouTube live and get off the Zoom link, because we have a limited amount of people that can be on the Zoom. Thank you.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us at the San Ramon Valley Science Olympiad 2019 to 2020 award ceremony. We'll go ahead and get started right about now, but I'd like to thank everyone, first of all, for joining us on this Friday afternoon. So the San Ramon Valley Science Olympiad, again, is an interdisciplinary academic program in which engineering, the natural and physical sciences, artistic ventures, and the humanities are intertwined on a bed of creativity. The SRVSO was created by Algu Subramanian in 2018 with the mission to provide students with hands-on STEM project experience that is minimal in the average school curriculum. Every year, more than 270 students across 22 elementary schools in the San Ramon Valley are challenged in the pursuit of scientific achievement. And I know that we were all here during the beginning preliminary stages of the Science Olympiad during the Info Night. And just to bring back a few reminders, what really is the Science Olympiad? Well, the Science Olympiad is a large team event that's designed to explore the concepts of science. We aim to combine both science and a hands-on science competition format. And throughout this, we hope you enjoyed the team experience that we also tried to bring in through this collaborative event. Science Olympiad hopefully rewarded you, excellent students, with vital life skills like organization, leadership, confidence, teamwork, and much more. So, and now we go on to our competition format. Our format consists of 7 distinct events. We have 3 theory events in which 2 members from a team of 6 participate, and 3 hands-on build events with a full team instant challenge event with all 6 members from the team. The theory events for this year were A is for Anatomy, Science Bowl, and Whether or Not. The hands-on build events were Battery Buggy, Mission Possible, and Paddle Boat Construction. In total, we had 44 teams join us this year with the Science Olympiad. And here's a breakdown of the teams by school. First of all, given the switch to a virtual event, I would like to thank all of you for really putting your best foot forward. And I know it's difficult, especially during these unprecedented times, to get together and collaborate and complete an event that was meant to be used as a team event, but rather a lot of individual work went into the presentation of this. Now, hopefully you all had enjoyed your time working together before we were placed under lockdown, but I would just like to say thank you so much to all the participants, the team coaches, the parents, the officer board, and the advisors for your support and cooperation during this unforeseen circumstance. Now, a few people that I'd like to thank. First comes our lead judges and advisors, Ms. Kwan, Gluquelra Elementary Principal, Mr. Casso, the Montero Elementary Principal, and Mr. Valdez, a scientist at Lawrence Livermore Labs. Now, first, given that this is our closing ceremony, I'd like to invite each one of them up just to say a few words about our Olympiad. And we'll begin with Ms. Kwan.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to congratulate all the participants on their hard work and their flexibility. I'm very happy that we was able to see all of your hard work from over the last few months to be able to be showcased in our first ever virtual Science Olympiad. You should all be very proud of yourself. This shelter in place has definitely caused us to take a pause in our lives and find new creative solutions and approaches. This is what science is about, thinking outside the box, being creative, and discovering new ways of doing things. I want to thank Alagu and his team for finding a way to bring Science Olympiad to us. I was especially impressed that so many of the officers were freshmen and sophomores. Looking at our participants, our officers, and Alagu, I am confident with these young scientists leading our world in the future, it'll be a great place. Thank you again for participating in the Science Olympiad, and thank you, Alagu, for giving me the opportunity to help you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kwan. Next up, we'll have Mr. Casso.
I love this elementary science Olympiad. It's always the highlight of the spring. And with the shelter in place and the potential for canceling it entirely, I really thought that was probably going to be its future. And to see Alagu and his team creatively respond to the crisis that we're in, to allow us to continue to have this, when I know families and students have put so much work into learning with their team, building with their team, and preparing for this event. It's an honor to be associated with it. And I'm so excited to see how things go. Thank you, Alagu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Casso. Mr. Valdez is going to possibly join us later in the call, but we'd also like to thank his efforts. Okay, so before we move on, I'd just like to say that these three individuals, advisors, have been very important in my life as I've been a student in the Valley, and they've been great mentors and role models to me as I grow up, as well as being very supportive in my efforts to take on the Science Olympiad. Ms. Kwan, Mr. Casso, representing the education that we look forward to every day and helping us with creating that connection that we can get with students and helping those students blossom. Not only were we teaching, but as educators, they really inspired me to not just tell these kids the basic informations of science, but rather help them explore on their own and keep fueling that curiosity they have every day. Mr. Valdez helped us on the technical side as it goes as far as scientific principles involved in each event and the scoring for each event. And without Mr. Valdez, I think it would be really hard to kind of put a quantitative aspect on science that we've been able to do. So next, I'd like to introduce my officer board this year. The executive assistant is Sundar Subramanian. Sundar, would you like to say a few words and introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Sundar Subramanian, and I am a 7th grader at Gala Ranch, and I am the executive assistant for the 2019 to 2020 SRVSO.
All right. Next up, we have Matthew Wang, our public relations officer. Matthew, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, everybody. My name is Matthew Wang, and I am a sophomore at Doherty Valley High School, and I am the public relations officer and the Mission Possible event chair for this year's event.
All right. Thank you so much, Matthew. Next up, we have Harshdeep Singh, who is our scoring officer. Harshdeep?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Harshdeep Singh. I'm also a sophomore at Doherty Valley High School, and I was the score management officer.
All right. Thank you so much, Harshdeep. Next up, we have Haley Kwan, our instant challenge chair.
Hi, I'm Haley Kwan. I'm a sophomore at Doherty Valley High School, and I'm the instant challenge chair for this year.
Thank you so much, Haley. Siddhant is our battery buggy chair. I am not sure if he's on the call today. Oh, there he is.
Hello, everybody. I'm Siddhant Dalla, and I'm the battery buggy chair for this year SRVSO, and I'm also a sophomore at DVHS.
Okay, thank you so much, Sid. Next up, we have Rahul, who is our paddle boat chair.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rahul Vinod. I'm a sophomore at Doherty Valley as well, and I'm the paddle boat chair for this year.
Next up, we have Matthew Wang, who's also our Mission Possible chair. We'll move on to, I am unsure if Gregory and William were able to make it to our call, but Greg and Will were very helpful in putting together our theory events this year. And finally, we have Arav Bhattacharya, who also helped out with the theory events this year.
Hi guys, I'm Arav, a current freshman at DVHS, and this year I'm the whether or not event chair for the SRVSO.
All right, thank you very much, Arav. Okay, let's get back to our presentation. All right, so these officers I had first met at the beginning of this year, of this school year, I'd say. They were extremely helpful in essentially everything that Science Olympiad has to offer. This was a great burden to try and take on myself, especially in the first year. But this second year that I've been doing it, these officers have made my life a lot more easy. And as you see, hopefully a lot of you have created connections with them as you've been reaching out to them based on their different departmental responsibilities. They've helped from as far as it goes to secure sponsorships, all the way to the nitty and gritty, like creating our theory events, and as well as creating our scoring guidelines, working with other volunteers to score our virtual submissions this year. And honestly, without these officers, I definitely would not have been able to pull off this event as far as it goes to switching over to a virtual aspect. It has been extremely difficult. And also, our instant challenge specifically has been an obstacle that we've been trying to figure out. And I'm more than thankful that Haley was able to help us out with that. She created a lot of different folders, taking images. And as you all recall, that we were all ready and geared to go for the Science Olympiad, but our county restriction shut us down about 2 days before, where we decided to make the call. That being said, these officers had everything planned, and Haley specifically, and along with the rest of the officer team, we put together every single instant challenge event, bagged up every single materials, labeled them by team. I see some of my officers laughing, remembering how tedious that work was. But unfortunately, this is what happened, and I'm sorry we weren't able to do an on-site event, but thankfully we were able to switch over everything to a virtual event and move on with that. So I'd like to thank you guys very much. And with me moving on to college next year, I am more than happy that, and especially confident in the officer team that I put together this year, and that they will be able to continue the Science Olympiad for years to come to provide you students with a wonderful opportunity every single year. So thank you. Next, I'd like to thank my lifelong supporters. Without my family, I wouldn't be here today. And this was during last year's award ceremony where my family helped out with every single aspect. My dad was helping with scoring, my mom was helping with volunteer coordinating, and my brother this year took on a larger role in where he was overseeing a lot of the events and helping out any officers with tasks and delegations. So I don't want to leave my family out because obviously they're a big part of my life and they're a big part of this event as well. Next up, I'd like to thank our individual sponsors. We'd like to thank the San Ramon Valley Education Foundation for supporting us through the education aspect in securing an insurance possibility, and for us acting as a middleman for funds. And we'd like to thank the Bay Area Curriculum, which is a language education-based organization, for securing our insurance liability as far as facilities go. We'd like to thank Roche Pharmaceuticals because they've helped us out a lot with some financial aspects, as well as providing volunteers to judge for this year's event. And hopefully we look forward to working together with these organizations, as well as bringing on more organizations that are well aligned with our mission. So here's what we're all here for today, the awards. Now, as far as the virtual format goes, these awards are laid out in front of me so I can see them, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy holding them as well for those of you that get the opportunity to do so. Awards will be emailed, you'll be notified by email as to how you'll pick up these awards. And that way, we'll let you know how you'll be able to come pick up these awards and what time and all those schedules and things like that. So with that being said, we would like to move forward to A's for anatomy. And as far as all theory events go, I'd like to call up Arav just to speak a little bit about our theory event process here.
Hi guys. So as you all know, the 2020 SRVSO had 3 theory events: A's for Anatomy, Whether or Not, and Science Bowl. All of these events required competitors to sit down for a test, which consisted of many multiple choice questions and 5 free response questions at the end. In addition, each test required competitors to heavily research many scientific concepts. As the name suggests, the A's for Anatomy and Whether or Not tests focus on the concepts of anatomy and weather, respectively. Additionally, the Science Bowl test drew from various scientific fields. Each and every competitor who took a theory test in this year's Olympiad should be really proud of themselves. You've all shown outstanding levels of determination towards science, as you chose to persevere in preparing for your theory test, even in times as tumultuous as these. Now, let's take a look at the top 3 teams for each of our theory events this year, starting with A's for Anatomy.
Okay, thank you very much, Arav. Now, like Arav said, let's move on to what you've all been here for. Welcome to the awards section of our awards ceremony. So first up, we will start with A's for Anatomy. Now, our 3rd place team for the 2019 and 2020 San Ramon Valley Science Olympiad for A's for Anatomy is Metamorphic Masterminds from Bella Vista, BV7. Now, I would highly appreciate it if everyone would unmute themselves and clap a little bit for each team that put in a lot of effort after I announce every single team. And then we can go ahead and mute all of you afterwards. So,
I'm gonna mute them.
okay, so next up, our second place team for the 2019-2020 Science Olympiad for A's for Anatomy is Supernova 6 from Montevideo, MV3. And now our first place theory team for A's for Anatomy for this year is the Cranium Crushers from Live Oak, LO2. Participants, feel free to turn on your cameras. Coaches, feel free to turn on your cameras during this aspect of our ceremony. Thank you. Next up, we have Whether or Not. Our 3rd place team for Whether or Not is Atoms We Matter from Bell Run, QR2. Our 2nd place team for this year is 123 Charge from Quail Run, QR5.
I'll look who you're muted.
Next up, we have Science Bowl.
This year Science Bowl எப்படி இருந்துச்சு?
Our 3rd place theory team for Science Bowl this year is Bella Thenas, from Bella Vista, BV6. Our 2nd place theory team for this year is QR Science Warriors from Quail Run, QR6. And our first place theory team for Science Bowl this year is Metamorphic Masterbinds from Bella Vista, BV7. Okay, thank you so much for joining us for the theory event portion of our award ceremony. Next up, we will be going over our instant challenge events. And for our instant challenge events, I would like to introduce our officer in charge of that. Haley, would you like to say a few words about instant challenge?
Yes. Okay. This year's SRVSO Instant Challenge was very different compared to other years. We changed a lot of things from the formatting to the rubric, but the central goal remained the same. The goal of the Instant Challenge is to encourage creativity, quick thinking skills, and teamwork in children. I believe that we were still able to successfully achieve these things over an online platform, largely in part to everyone's cooperation and flexibility. So I'd like to thank all of the participants. While I was judging the Instant Challenge, something that really stood out to me was the amazing collaboration between teammates. I saw a lot of compromises and effective discussions taking place, and even noticed kids who made sure that everyone got a chance to talk and share. I also saw a lot of really creative and innovative ideas exchanged. I'm sure all of this is very hard to do under that much pressure, a time limit, and new formatting. So what these kids did this year was very impressive. Before we get to the awards, we should be extremely proud of the effort every single team put in. And now here are the top teams for the 2020 Instant Challenge.
All right, thank you so much, Haley. And without further ado, here is our instant challenge. All righty, so our third place instant challenge team for this year is Atoms We Matter from Quail Run, QR2. Our second place team for this year is Mad Scientists from Live Oak, LO4. All right, and now our first place team for the instant challenge this year is Bollinger Scientists from Bollinger Canyon, BC1. Okay, so next up we have Battery Buggy. And to present regarding Battery Buggy, I'd like to invite up one of our Battery Buggy event chairs. And to do so, I would like to call up Rahul.
Hello, everyone. So with the Battery Buggy event, competitors were tasked with designing and building a moving battery-powered vehicle capable of traveling 18 feet this year. And the only constraints were in regards to the size of the vehicle and the amount of electric power that they could use. So we really got to see some very creative vehicles through the submissions. And on an event specific level, we wanted competitors to understand how electrical energy can move vehicles, how to construct a vehicle using electrical parts, and how design affects the vehicle's path of travel. And on a fundamental level, students mastered ideas and concepts related to different forms of energy, energy loss during changes in form, direction and magnitude of forces, and Newton's laws of motion. I could clearly see a large amount of effort that teams put in to their build binders and their battery buggies. And I really hope that everybody had a great experience with the battery buggy event.
All right, thank you so much, Rahul. Okay, so without further ado, let's head on to our awards for Battery Buggy. And really quickly, right before we head on to our awards, I'd just like to say that this year's Science Olympiad ran on a specific honor code. And especially for the build events, this task was based on how well we could get that measurement score as well for each one of our build events. Specifically for Battery Buggy, we'd like to thank you for paying attention to all of our information and our communication regarding how we were going to actually calculate that score. All of you were very diligent and your team coaches were excellent in delivering this information to you. And we'd just like to thank you for sticking with us, and especially during this time when we weren't really able to give you the best on how we were going to calculate your score. But given the conditions, you guys did excellently. And we just like to say thank you to everybody before we head on to the awards for Battery Buggy.
Hey, I think you will win something for team collaboration or something like that, you know?
Okay, so for our 5th place build team for Battery Buggy, we have Pineapple from Coyote Creek, CK2.
क्लैप कर लो यार कचड़ा
Okay, and just as a little image, all of our build events and our theory events, as well as instant challenge events, will receive medals. The theory events have places from between 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place. We will be awarding 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th for all our build events. The instant challenge will be awarded 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And our overall, we will be providing all 5 places as well as trophies. So this is a quick image. This is our 5th place medal that participants will be receiving. Now, our 4th place build team is Infinity Chickens from Bella Vista. And our 4th place medal for this year is as follows. And now for 3rd place for Battery Buggy, we have the Science-Keteers from Montevideo, MV2. And in 2nd place, we have the Fierce Eagles from Live Oak, LO6. And for 1st place, we have the Mad Scientist from Live Oak, LO4. All right, now with that being said, we'll head on to the next part, to paddle boat construction.